Hey everybody, welcome to Spoiler Warning, and we are going back again to Dishonored, as if the Knife of Dunwall adventure we just had wasn't enough. We're gonna just jam-pack the summer full of Dishonored, and we are going back to Dunwall. But not for long.
I thought we weren't going back to Dunwall. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just spoilers.
We will be done with Dunwall soon.
Yeah, so this is Dishonored 2. This game is really cool.
So I've heard.
We're just gonna play on medium.
It's really cool that there's a new game plus in this mode, because that's actually one of the main reasons, all of our criticisms of the game's tepid storytelling aside, that I haven't replayed Dishonored as so much. Because it's really boring once you've used all these cool powers to just kind of plod around again. I actually really wish
and
Doom...
you could do the other character, right?
And that's a thing.
Like you could switch to the other character and do New Game Plus at the same time, right?
No.
Oh, did I not?
I skip you
the,
can't.
oh well, we can do the tutorial shit. That's okay.
This is my city.
So this tutorial is actually pretty bad. The rest of the game is pretty good, but I was not a big fan of this. It is basically Corvo training Emily to become a master thief while she is also Empress.
Interesting.
Oh, I thought he was going to lower the.
I mean, okay, if this game is going to be super pulpy, I'm down with this concept. Is it just like the execution?
Yeah, and it's an opportunity to do a lot of character building that was probably necessary between Corvo and her dad, or Corvo and his daughter. It never really went anywhere. It's very focused on just being a press X to jump tutorial when it could have delivered some actual exposition.
I can say I'm actually totally here for the idea of Empress Batman, though. Like yeah, that's fine.
This reminds me a lot of the beginning of Witcher 3, actually.
It reminds me of the beginning of the very bad
Actually,
Thief
that's a good point.
remake, which is what set me off of it.
What's your guys' favorite name for the Thief remake? Thorf is probably my favorite.
What is this thing? I've never heard of it. What? They made a fourth Thief? I don't know what you're talking about.
My favorite name for it is just Regret.
That's my favorite name of it.
So
what about
here's the
Thief
deal.
5-4 Thumb?
Oh,
Thief 5-4 Thumb?
The fourth. The fourth
Yeah, I
thumb.
know how stealth works.
So, I actually have not played Dishonored 2. I played Dishonored 1, had mixed but reasonably positive feelings about it. This week is the exclusive demo of Dishonored 2 as far as I'm concerned. This is going to determine whether I'm going to buy it and play it and, you know, sort of see how far I can get before we continue on the series.
On the whole, I would strongly recommend it. It is a very, very good game that fixes almost all of my key complaints with Dishonored. I can think of very few games that do that really take pretty much every complaint I had and address them.
This game controls really well, you guys. Like the way Dishonored feels to play.
I know that's big for you, especially when we play like these 0451 type games.
Yeah, Dishonored is by far the best playing 0451. What am I?
I mean, they're almost defined by having janky controls. You know, there's a lot of things about Dishonored's controls that I really liked, which seem to be still there. I liked how crisp it is whenever you do like a lean or like a vault.
Yeah.
There's not like a sort of a wind-up animation, which, you know, might look more realistic in a gameplay demo, but it just feels terrible. Like it feels a little delayed and unresponsive.
Let's beat each other up.
Also, the fact that enemies can't see you when you're peeking. I like that a lot, even though it makes no sense.
That's my daughter. When
enemies can totally see you when you're peeking.
So, really glad that Corvo's talking, even though this is not how I imagined him sounding.
Good. Block with your
blade. It's Stephen Russell basically doing his voice as Garrett from Thief. And I love it. So this is
I
an
would have
interesting
preferred
thing.
doing his voice as Bellathor, to be honest, but, you know.
the parry system is new, and that helps solve a lot of the melee combat problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dishonored's weird blocking system, where it's like you just put up your shields.
Come on.
Yeah, that isn't really a thing so much
Stop
anymore.
Even the most black-hearted killer.
This parry system is designed to make it so that you can get a hit in if you can get them to strike at you. Also this. This is a
I kind of forgot about all this because I didn't really mess around with the melee combat in my playthrough.
Yeah, that's
So that's
good. See, this is cool. Now I can deploy swords.
Deliver a fatal blow.
Yeah, so now there's a reason to parry because you can then still do a non-lethal move to take them out.
When someone swings a sword,
Much more thoughtful, not thoughtfully oriented, not just towards like sword play, but also toward like non-lethal runs.
feel better knowing you can take care of yourself.
Yeah, there was
I
a
still
lot of
think that-
energy. Oh, go ahead, Alec.
When trouble does
Oh, I was just
finally
gonna say,
come,
like,
you're ready
from
to
what I
fight.
understand, like, the non-lethal playthrough in this is still really, really difficult, though. From my understanding, not based on the combat,
There,
but, like,
there
just
are
the fact
a
that
few
rats eat
levels
people.
where it's a pain in the ass to get a ghost non-lethal playthrough. I'll say that, because there are some enemies in the game that make it really difficult to do that. I'd say non-lethal is a little bit easier than non-lethal and ghost together.
15 years ago, in the middle of a plague that nearly destroyed Dunwall, a paid
I did both. Well, actually, I killed one person, but they really had it coming.
In the aftermath, the men who sent the assassin
But aside from that, I did a non-lethal
they
game.
would have succeeded, but my father, Corvo Atano, hunted them down and cut their conspiracy to pieces.
See, I don't like this part because it reminds me of Dishonored's story.
All these years
That's
later,
because it is Dishonored story.
It's like I'm watching it, and this would be more interesting if I hadn't played Dishonored.
a monster the papers are calling
It's like I'm
a
seeing this and just
killer.
remembering how dull and uninteresting all of this was. I
Yeah.
can't even imagine something cooler than actually happened.
So this game is largely framed from Emily's point of view, and the story seems to mostly concern Emily. So, like, it's cool that you have two completely different campaigns that you can play through. Well, not completely different, but you know, the character in it is main character is different and has different characterization. Because you can play as Corvo or as Emily, but it's also weird because this game seems so like hyper focused on being Emily's story, and
I'm not looking forward to all the ceremony today.
then you can just like not play her, and she's like just not in the rest of the
Your signet
game.
ring. There, you're ready.
Thank you.
I feel like
Open the
making
doors.
Emily the main character is definitely the logical decision, since
Yeah.
Corvo's story's kind of over. Like, Corvo's whole purpose was Emily, and now she's an adult. But I think it's interesting, the idea that they then shoehorned Corvo in as like the token sad dad.
My mother, the late Jessamine Caldwin.
'Cause we don't
May
get
her
enough of
memory
those in
survive
games.
through the ages.
Not enough sad dads that you're in video
You look
games.
tired, Father.
It's a little interesting that they decided to just completely dispel any mystery around whether or not Corvo
I wish
was
Mother
Emily's
was still the
dad.
Empress.
I'm
it was
so
very
glad, it was so
subtly
stupid.
hinted
You're
at.
still learning.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the rabble.
Like everything in Dishonored that was coy, it shouldn't have been coy.
People are saying
Also,
it's
everything that was explicit in Dishonored shouldn't have been explicit. Dishonored, I really didn't like,
No.
in terms of like how its world building and narrative actually worked out.
I wish I could just run away from all this.
So this is the
Sometimes
anniversary
you do.
of the death of our
You think I don't
mom.
know about your nights out on the
If
rooftops?
you guys remember that bit.
Courage. The ceremony will be over soon.
We even played the guy who
Where I
killed her,
jumped on
so
the
yes,
guard's
I think
head
we're...
and got arrested for
We
treason.
should have passed a law against that combination of titles years ago.
I do love Stephen Russell. I love the thief voice. You know, I think that's why I played through the game as Corvo. It's just I wanted to hear... I wanted another thief game with Thief Garrett.
Your Majesty, before
And not
we begin
replacement
the day's
Garrett.
So-
observances, we have an unexpected visitor.
Yeah. So, again, this is, I haven't chosen my character yet. So everything is framed up until now as
That's
you're playing as
intriguing.
Emily, and then, like, we're gonna get to a point here,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
gonna say, you want to play as old dad instead? Have you got enough
Soldiers?
dad in your life yet?
What is
With,
this,
with
Ramsay?
almost the
I
same
didn't
powers from the
authorize
first game,
those
really.
things.
Not great. Well, this is This intro's kind of janky.
And now the
weird and
robots
dumb.
start
Offers
dabbing.
condolences on this sorrowful day, and gifts to remind you of our nation, the rising star on the southern horizon.
Would you say that Corvo
We
is
thank
like
you,
a
Your Grace.
beloved character
Save
by
your
fans?
thanks. For now,
No.
I give you
No.
the greatest gift of all.
Dowd is a
I
beloved
like him.
character by
I present the
fans.
lost sister of Jessamine Caldwin, your rightful empress.
I know it doesn't make any sense that in a game like a fictional 19th century that
Hey,
it
it's
feels
Delilah
wrong for a
again.
character to have
Remember
such
that
a
part where we
crass
killed
American
her?
accent.
It's not true.
But it does.
Well, Corvo is not from
and Jessamine was my younger sister. At the time
Faux
of her
London,
death, I wasn't
so-
ready to make myself known
Oh
to
man,
you,
that aunt is
and
super
I was
evil.
forced to leave Dunwall. But now I'm
This is Delilah from the
If you
DLC,
really
if you
are
remember.
my mother's sister,
I
you're
don't.
welcome to stay as long as you
And
Who's the main
this
villain
is
of the DLC?
blackened by bad
Yeah,
memories.
the one
I'm
that
here to
Dowd
relieve
locked in
you of
the
your
void for
crown.
forever. Well, she's
My father's
back,
promise, whispered in secret so many
Um,
years ago, is now.
and oh, it turns out also now this is new for this game. She's
Royal
um,
protector.
Jessamine, your
How naive to
mom's
think you could get away with these
secret
murders.
sister.
Living in
No,
my
that's-
palace has
so-
protected you.
That's
No, that
new,
was
but it's
not
hinted at.
established in it was kind of hinted at, but it was not really hinted at in the way where I think they were committed to the idea.
Somehow it felt a little bit odd for Corvo to just kind of
So-
be mad dogging like that. The dude's like,
That's the way this
ninja.
this intro starts. Is the Duke of Karnaka shows up with his entourage, drops your secret maybe aunt, and then says, "Okay, we're taking over now. Bye." I mean, that is a way to do palace intrigue, I guess.
I always find this
Alright,
kind of
so now we
stuff
get to
so
pick.
unbelievable.
like when,
I'm just like, all of a sudden you just lose all power and control immediately.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awkward. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, it kind of makes a little sense later when you realize how, like, fucking unpopular Emily is. But, like, that, like, hey, maybe nobody cares about following her around and would like to have a different empress on the throne, and that would make sense. But it's not really established at this point, so it just feels like these guys walked in, completely dismantled your royal guard for, like, with no effort whatsoever, and took over, and it's like, okay.
My father lost it all.
And that's what happens, is whoever you don't pick gets turned into a statue for the rest of the game, and you don't see them again until the very end.
The men from the shooting club.
I'm a big fan of like the getting stomped on to transition into being dragged somewhere, but that was the limpest stomp I've ever seen in this context.
Uh-oh.
It'll be all Captain Mayhew.
That's a cool character we're not going to see more of.
That's the royal protector's fancy way.
This is the guy I murdered, by the way.
Sword folds in half.
Yeah, just throw that sword there, it'll be fine. Yeah, let's just drag her near the sword. That's a great idea.
There's
So
a
they do
legend
establish
in the
that most of the
Tower
royal guard have been
Empress's
corrupt and
last
paid
resort,
off.
a safe
So it's
room
not like
inside your chambers holding
Yeah.
enough
this is
gold
completely
to
coming
buy
out of
a
nowhere.
good-sized island. They say that this ring is one of the only two keys to exist.
All we got in a ring. Oh, man.
It's fortunate for you I got
Not
stomped
gonna
by
be able
this.
to make D&D Thursdays.
What happened? Alexei. The throne.
So, I'm embarrassed to admit that I spent an unfortunately long amount of time in this intro room the first time I played
I
the
need
game.
to get out of here.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Well, no, I was looking for a way out, and I thought there was a switch
Oh,
or a secret
okay.
door or a vent, and I kept trying to open the other window, and the other window won't open. But there's one window that's already open, and
That
you're
happened
just
to
supposed
me,
to go out it.
too. Yeah.
In which you can hear the sea very loudly.
Exactly, and I'm like, oh, there's a ledge out there, but I can't get the damn window open. What am I missing? Standing right next to an open window.
Should I just spin it and pick a place to hide for a while.
It's not to say, from a narrative perspective, I appreciate that scene was very to the point. Although Dishonored was also good in that respect, but I'm not sure how I felt about that villain reveal.
Working with Ramsay and the Duke of Serkonos.
It's not
It's sort
great.
of one of the big problems with Dishonored 1 was it felt like the villains were just kind of like swaggering, sneering, voguing, like malicious forces with no real, like, without like a lot of depth to them as antagonists. And that was just sort of that, but turned up to a greater degree.
They do a fair bit with Delilah later in the game. It won't matter for a little bit, because we're going to run away from Dunwall here, but as we get closer to dealing with her, she gets fleshed out a fair bit.
Let me put it this way, it would have been nice to be more intrigued by her and her motivations.
So you'll notice sort of immediately that, like, Emily is directly expositing to the player and to herself, which is a new thing for Dishonored. Also, this game looks really pretty. Dishonored 1.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Delilah is some sort of witch. How is this possible?
Lady Emily, where's the royal
It's cool. I'm
protector?
sure we can get you a doctor and you'll be fine with that great gaping hole in your stomach.
He's imprisoned.
And just take a health vial. Like, my dad went through like 80 of them. Oh,
Yeah, I got some.
There was a captain earlier today down at the docks.
They say
looking
that's
for
what
the
turned
royal
his voice
protector.
into Stephen Russell.
Find her. Get out of Dunwall.
Alexei, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Alright, cool. We got the sword.
The Dreadful Whale. I am still not sure
so
what to make of the
we
name
need
of
to.
that.
This won't open without my ring.
There's a whale.
Well, I mean,
Inspired
whales in
threat.
this universe are pretty dreadful. So we need to get through the door to the safe room so that we can get out through the back entrance. But Mr. Asshole stole our key, so there's a key on this guy's back.
So in that bathroom to your left, there's a audio recording of Corvo, and if you're Corvo, I believe it's an audio recording of Emily. I think it shows that that more effort needed to be put into, I think, building the fact that this thing that's supposed to motivate you through the whole game needed more setup.
You're the ruler of 4 nations, and I won't pretend to understand.
Imagine how mind-blowing this would be if Corvo was still silent up to this point.
Your mother before you could know what that's like. Whoever's killing off your enemies is doing so for countless.
Emily's going to be like, holy shit, who is this?
that I got taken out by evil odds.
What it's like to be blamed for murders you didn't commit. But trust me, we'll find this crown.
So we've been sort of
They'll pay. Tomorrow is the end.
seeing some exposition pop up about this person called the Crown Killer, who seems to be
I want you to remember
murdering a bunch of critics of Emily for some reason. That's weird. So Emily has gotten this kind of like reputation that like, oh, maybe she's the Crown Killer, maybe Corvo's the Crown Killer, going and assassinating everybody who's saying
That's not a bad
shit.
guess, honestly.
Yeah.
you're becoming the sovereign your mother wanted you to be.
Do they ever explain why they think she's responsible?
Can't dally.
Well, like she's known to like sneak out and do acrobatic shit on the.
I mean, Harry was known for sneaking out. Nobody thought that he was secretly going around, like, garroting journalists.
Well, if Harry was the Emperor.
Who's Harry?
Like, the Royal Harry in England.
Ah.
Oh.
I was looking for a video game character.
Cool. Now we can come back to this place and chill. Okay, let's see here. Guy there, and I think there's another guy in the stairwell somewhere.
There is. He might be coming back up here.
Oh, isn't it laundry day yet? Oh, it's gotta be soon.
I only have the sword, don't I? I'm also, I can't remember how important the radial menu in this game is. I'm hoping it's not as important as it was in the last game, because I have a problem with my mouse right now, where the middle mouse button don't work too good, so... Oh,
So, are the guard conversations still, like, procedurally generated the where they were in Dishonored? I say procedurally generated.
Not as badly.
I heard that guy talking about how much he stank, which I think is good world building. The only thing would be better is if, like, you went in to choke him out, and you're just like...
I want to slide off of this.
Like,
Thank
smell this.
you. Whoop.
Gently tread.
I thought I saw someone right here. Let's check.
So you can do vertical takedowns that are non-lethal now too, which is...
Yeah, I don't know if it's giving me that. Oh, that didn't work. Okay.
It's a good old-fashioned.
I got the prompt right as I landed and did a block instead. So.
Well, there goes our ghost run. 2 minutes
He's not
in.
dead, he's just tired.
We had no intention.
I mean,
Let's be
that was
honest.
probably how it was gonna go.